Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, my friends. I am your friend Kevin. Before we get into today's Divine Daily Blast, I've got a little reminder for you. If you wouldn't please go up to, in the frame, click the like and the subscribe and the little bell notification. I keep forgetting to ask people to do it, but it does help the channel. Let's get to today's Divine Daily Blast, shall we? Here we go. We are in an angel numerology number 2 day today. That is all about partnerships, cooperation, balance, harmony, intuition, faith. I call it diplomacy. It's also a sign to keep going. Keep stepping forward, one foot in front of the other, towards your goals, towards manifesting everything that you need. Nurturing relationships. Take time to reflect on the relationships you've already had and make an effort to invest in them. It's a good time to work on your trust and communication skills. Seek the balance in those areas. Partnerships, if you're in a partnership, always good to do a little check-in, write a little sticky note. You care, we're on this journey. Things are not always the way that they should be. Just that kind of stuff. Also keeping the faith. It's a day to stop your negative talk. Watch your negative thinking. Work gently and harmoniously to be as supportive and considerate with yourself as you can, as well as being sensitive to other people. Sensitive when you notice a mood in someone or you feel some hostility, bless it. They may be going through something. You have no idea. And it's not aimed at you. I think we have been programmed to take things personally. Sometimes people just got to let off steam and you just happen to be in the way. Not make it right, it just means don't add to the fuel to their negative fire by meeting it with negativity. Moving on. Nothing is more important than my feeling of joy and happiness. Yes. I'm on the path and say yes to my destiny right now. I'm on my path and say yes to my destiny now. I am the bridge between earth and heaven. If you're on this channel, if you feel like there is something spiritual within you, there is. If you feel like there is a slow moving awakening that's happening on the level of your soul, it is. If you're finding videos, books, movies, media, that is sparking your inner soul flame, it is. There are no accidents. We are coming into this existence where our soul work, particularly if you were born between 1945 and 1965, you are carrying the work of generations in order to heal, to enlighten, to inspire, and to move the needle from our human consciousness, our earth-bound existence, into new realms. You can get this from many of the YouTube channels, Edgar Cayce, Florence Scovel Shinn, even Abraham Hicks, even the spirit of Louise Hay. There's much written about these folks, about these philosophers, just as there was much written about the disciples of the Master Jesus. Much has been written, studying things like the White Brotherhood, and that has nothing to do with race. Paramahita Yogananda, who wrote The Diary of a Yogi. All of these philosophers brought their words on pages for us to use their teaching and move forward, manifest in this new age, this new world. Message from the manifesting angels. I call upon us to release fears and open your mind to all the miracles awaiting to happen in your life. I've said this week that what might seem to be a mess comes right before the miracles and the magic. Clearing out the mess is part of the work. Even when you look at somebody and they feel like their life is all over the place, they may not know from sun up to sundown what's going to happen, and that puts people into this fear-based consciousness. All we can do is remind ourselves and pass it along. Yes, we are all on this plane at the same time in the same place, and everything's going to work out just fine. Even saying that to someone, have faith. Things always have a way of working themselves out, is enough comfort. They may still be blathering and lathering and getting all kinds of twisted. Don't put droplets of fear into fear. You'll just exacerbate it. What you want to do is put some calm into the minds and the hearts and the eyes of others. Every single soul that is now alive and awake on the planet is experiencing something quite dramatic. And that can create dramatic reactions and responses from people who are also in their various stages of awakening to something new, awakening to something fresh, particularly those who don't really know what to do with change. Here's your affirmation that goes with this. I release any resistance to change. I'm excited for the miracles that await me. Keep going. It's an attitude, it's a vibration. Everything we think, there's an RSP, reciprocal something in right behind the brain that really speaks about everything. Reciprocal something sensory, I forgot what that actually means, but it is talking about the part of the brain, our friend of the channel Vicky calls it the frontal cortex, that absorbs everything, that focuses, and it brings into focus. And when you bring it into focus, you bring it into life, if you make sense. It's why sometimes trying to cram a lot of information from a course of study, for me personally, I have to have it drip fed. Because a lot of information at one time and a lot of stimulation at one time, my mind does not know how to process it. I can't absorb it. But it does trickle in somehow. Archangel Metatron, basically saying, you have divine calling, which is all what this is about. God and the angels are recruiting us. Where you are is where you've been sent. What you're waking up to is what you're supposed to wake up to. You don't have to necessarily do anything dramatic or physical. You can if you want to, but just be open to listening. Even making affirmations, how best can I serve humanity in the world? Period. Done. You'll get the answer. Commander Ashtar, leadership activation, time to evolve. Trust in your ability to guide others. Commander Ashtar is Lord of the non-physical, the extraterrestrials, coming in to invite us all to join the Ashtar Command, to move human consciousness, to work with the elders, to encourage and inspire the young souls that are coming to transport this earth into the next millennium. Louise Hay's Thursday's diary. I take the time to breathe deeply each day, allowing my body to relax and release tension, fear, criticism, negativity. And our tarot card for today, remember I pull them for the week ahead on Sunday and then revisit them the day they show up. I'm curious, how do they play into the day's energy? Well, let's link it to where the moon is today, which is in Cancer. We're also reminded today that Mercury starts its first retrograde of 2026. This time, the Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Cancer and Pisces. So both of them, the moon being in Cancer, Mercury retrograde being in Pisces, water signs, the flow. Double check everything, and whatever you do, try to maintain a good sense of humor. This month, and we're on the kind of like the edge of a lunar eclipse that comes up next week, and the eclipse season is pretty spiky, charged, ready to move. The planets, the atmosphere, the solar system is charged up to change. And we, as humans, are reacting to that change. Our 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Coins, 7 of Earth, depending on what deck you're using, is really just a sit back, look at the seeds you've planted, look at what you've achieved, and take stock of where you are in life. A calm, contemplative mood. And in this image, we see the woman that's created a peaceful kingdom. And the birds are being chased by cats. And she's just tending to her garden. Now, in astrology, this particular card from this particular deck is invoking the sign of Saturn in Taurus. I mean, the planet of Saturn in Taurus. Talking about patience, self-discipline. It's about material enjoyment. It's about you're on the right path, keep going. Things that the seeds that you planted in your life, in your material world, are bearing fruit. Don't give up. Keep your projects going. It is easy when things don't unfold quite in the time, space, reality that we want it to, is to give up and to sabotage. Lord knows many of the projects that I've started, that I've got passionate about and been interested in, when things don't quite flourish, I'll move on to something else. I have a propensity to get bored rather quickly. Now, that serves me in a good way because it keeps me from becoming mundane, complacent, bitter, negative. I can go there, but it also means I need to spend a little bit more time developing some of the things that are just not finished, not developed, that have been abandoned. On this trajectory with this card, with this 7 of Coins, 7 being a magical number and it being part of the material, physical world, we just gently move forward, but keep the forward movement. Keep reaping what you sow. Let's see what the fairies have to say. I love to finish up with fairy blessings, manifesting with the fairies. This one is by Karen Kay. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And it really does play into what we're talking about. Weaving in the wisdom, as I like to call it. Okay, keep shuffling. One more shuffle. All right. Can I take this card? Yes. Okay. Oh. Now, it's not by chance. Success, although this came out inverted, it's because the deck, when I put it back in there, they're all inverted. You know, there's no accidents. We've got the Fairy Queen of Success, and she's got a basket of fruit. She's also standing in a garden of flowers. Well, hello. Then we have the 7 of Pentacles. She's just repeating what the tarot is saying. She hasn't anything to add. She's got this golden pathway leading up to her front door. And everything's in bloom. There's nothing to fear, just fear itself. So think about the success in your life. I would focus on that. Focus on your successes. Now, if you're thinking about success and you're not quite there yet, see if you can identify what it is that it would take to get you there. Or are you running up against a repeated pattern that keeps on stopping you from experiencing success? We keep saying it. We've got to look at what's getting in the way, what's blocking it. Personally, I think we have to let go of the block, the idea that something's blocking it. Because if there is something blocking it, it surely will identify itself. But not when we're trying too hard. This fairy queen of success is saying, welcome it into your life. Simply trying to do something is success, regardless of what the outcome may or may not be. I mean, right here in her hand, in her other hand, she's got this golden key to the fairy door right here in her house. And the Queen wishes wishes all of us the abundance of success in our lives, including the endeavors we're currently focusing on. She asks us to complete and contemplate how we define our successes. So manifest success by opening your mind and your heart to achieving whatever it is that you are desiring. And be grateful, be blessed. Think of success-minded ways in which you can progress forward. Success is not necessarily having so much money in the bank you couldn't possibly spend it. That would be lovely. That's a dream and ideal. But success could be the flow of it, that it keeps flowing, that no matter what, it keeps flowing. Long time ago, I learned the bill comes and you panic. Give up the panic, because the bill wouldn't show up if you didn't have the resources to pay it. I think that's it for me for today, my friends. And I love you all for liking, subscribing, helping to project the channel forward. Until tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye for now.